Thank you and welcome to A Brief History of Me. In this video, I will do my best to share my story so far without sharing anything that may be upsetting or inappropriate for you, the viewer. Let's start with the C-section I forced my mom to get. On October 19th, 1994, I was born in McKeesport Hospital at approximately 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We lived very close to all my mom's family members while there, and it was a beautiful community to grow up in as a young child. My family was very encouraging of all of the unique choices that I made as a child, and despite being one of 8 grandchildren, I became used to being the center of attention, for good reason or for others' comedic relief. Then, at age 7, we moved to Nashville. I loved the brief time my family spent living here. While we were far from any family now, the development we moved into was so new that no one in our neighborhood was from Tennessee either. We merged our family with 4 others from all over the US, and I felt a very secure sense of belonging. Even if these people weren't my aunts or uncles or cousins, I could still be myself and fit in. However, this period was short-lived when my dad got a new job and we returned to Western PA. We moved to the South Hills of Pittsburgh, where I graduated high school in 2013. It was during these years of becoming that I started to sense that perhaps I couldn't just fit in anywhere. Even when joining activities that might stereotypically not be the coolest, like theater, choir, or video club, I didn't seem to blend in at all, and my hair wasn't even pink yet. I was unapologetically being myself, and I had many friends, but I didn't feel my truest self was validated or sometimes even wanted. I was certain there had to be a better life and a better place for me out there. When it was time to go off to college, I picked a school that I thought was super artsy and would love to have me. Columbia College, Chicago. If there's one thing me and Kanye West have in common, it's that we both dropped out of this school. When I reflect on the experience I had here, I feel as if everyone was desperate to be the artsiest, the most unique, the most fashionable, the gayest, the realest, the number one person, and no one was being their truest self. And then there was me, middle class, dressing like Rachel Berry, realizing that I was not in fact straight while listening to stories written by my writing partner in fiction class. I was nobody's first choice for a friend, and after a few months I realized I was nobody's choice for a friend. I had no family around, I did not belong, and I did not love the arts anymore. This lifestyle was over for me. Thankfully, I still had and have 2 very supportive parents who could see pretty quickly something was wrong. Into my second semester, they convinced me that Chicago was simply not my city, and to transfer somewhere closer to home. We agreed on Ohio University, where my sister was about to graduate. If I didn't fit in for being too straight and too boring at Columbia, then wowie zowie did I stand out as the gayest weirdo at OU. While I definitely didn't fit in here, I did still make some lifelong connections, and call me crazy, I got a thorough and comprehensive education here. I graduated from OU in 2018 with a degree in education that I actually used for a while. What I'll also say about my time at OU is that I didn't mind not fitting in as much, because during those summers, I was completely somewhere else. In 2015, I got a job as a camp counselor for girls aged 12 and 13 at YMCA Camp Conakry Spencer, and I can confidently say that everything you've ever heard about working at a summer camp is true. People do become obsessive about things that are completely ephemeral. Everyone sleeps with everyone. Yes, people are sneaking out to smoke weed, and the number one power couple is 2 guys who are actually straight. Working here, there was never a time that I felt like I didn't fit in. In fact, after my first summer, this is where I would spend my late springs and early falls. I became a mid-level director of the camp, and I tried my best to join and shape our culture to be better and better every day. Made so many lifelong friends from camp, especially my best friend Anna, who I moved in with after college. My last summer at camp was, however, markedly different from the 4 before it, and it was the end of that chapter for good. I returned home that fall and felt like I would never belong there again. I didn't know what was next for me, so I started substitute teaching. All the while, Anna and I were working on creative projects at home, rehashing old camp details, staying out way too late at drag bars, and trying to move forward in a highly transitive time for both of us. When her husband got stationed in Virginia with the Navy, I finally moved into the city of Pittsburgh. I moved to the city with another best friend, and just as we started to get comfortable, something not so cool happened that I bet also happened to you. No one likes to relive this period of recent history, so I'll simply give you the biggest highlights here. Before I started releasing videos of my own, Anna and I started our own channel called Silly Sickos. I even moved to Virginia for a year to try and see this dream turn into an achievable goal. While it is really painful to say because I learned so much from Silly Sickos and have so many great memories and friends from this period, moving to Virginia was a mistake. If I'd ever felt like I didn't fit in before, this was the worst of it. I stood out even more in this area where I knew no one and was losing my place at home faster and faster. There was no place for me here and no reason to stay. Rebuilding my own life when I returned to Pittsburgh was much tougher than I could have imagined. I had to recognize that some relationships were altered or even over for good, and no matter what the reason, that is always painful. However, there were still plenty of connections that had gotten even stronger in this period, and new ones that had changed me for the best. I felt something I hadn't realized was missing, the version of me that wanted to be an artist. Even when times were rough or I felt endlessly alone, I could find comfort if I recorded a video diary. The more I did my own videos, the happier I was becoming again, and the more things felt right. I was finally inspired to write again, to create, to share, and to do it on my own. I love and still love the videos I made with Anna, but on my own channel, I found the final pieces of me. Even if I didn't always feel accepted, if I felt estranged from family or friends, or like there was no payoff to my job, I could record and post a video and feel good about myself. Maybe the place that I fit in wasn't a city or a club or a group of people, but it was right here, on the other side of your screen. There is a place that's always felt right to me, and I'm so grateful to you for sharing it with me. Here we are together on my 30th birthday, and I've never felt more free or accepted or loved, so thank you for that. With special thanks to my editor Charles for putting me behind this screen, my parents for giving me life and pressuring me to keep it, my biggest supporters, and my safest place on earth, Kevin. Please sure to like and subscribe and visit the City of Bridges. Thank you for watching, and let's go Pens! Bum bum.